In this video we're going to have a look at Facebook and how to protect your data from people you don't know getting hold of it. This is otherwise known as Facebook privacy settings, and over the years Facebook have changed this and made it significantly more complicated to understand. The first point I'd like to make is that it's important that you give Facebook the chance to protect your settings by knowing who's on your friends list. If you've got people on your friends list who you're not sure who they are, my advice is to delete them, because the privacy settings run and are effective because you can decide who sees your data based on whether they're your friend or not. But if you've got friends on your friends list you're not sure about, then already those privacy settings aren't really going to work. So if you've got 150 million friends who you don't know, start deleting them before you go near your privacy settings. So let's say we've done that and we're sure that the friends on our list are real friends. The privacy settings are not this list here. These are quick links, and they don't cover nearly the range of things that you can protect your data with. To get to the full privacy settings, you either need to click here at See More Settings or on the privacy settings link here in the cogwheel. And there are several different pages of settings we're going to have a look at today. The first one, and this is the biggest option, is who can see the things that you post in the future. This particular young man's got his settings set to friends, and this is probably the best setting you can have. If you set it to friends of friends and you're not sure who is on your friends list, you could still be opening your data up to people who you don't know. The other options here are only you can see the posts, and that would keep your Facebook private and be like a personal diary to yourself. Or you could have things like close, fair friends and family. If you want to have a look at the past posts that you've made, you can change the privacy settings for those by clicking on Limit Past Post. If we click on this button, this means that all the posts that we've made and all the things that have been put on our timeline that we might have shared with people we didn't want to share will be made private again. So I'm going to click on this and confirm that I'd like to do this to all posts without reviewing them individually. So that's sorted my privacy settings for anything I'll post in the future and anything that I might have posted in the past. The rest of the settings on this page concern who can contact you and who can look you up. At the moment, Lee's got a setting of everyone being able to identify him using his email address or phone number. That's probably not a very sensible setting. A much more sensible setting for this is that friends can look you up using your email address or phone number. If we close that one down as well. This setting here is about search engines like Google being able to find information on your timeline, and this should be automatically defaulted to being on, as you can see here. This setting on means that Google and other search engines can't automatically search your timeline. It doesn't stop people who are doing Facebook searches from finding your profile, but it will stop people from finding your timeline information using Google. You'll notice that when you turn 18, some of these settings change, and this could be important for some of you who have got Facebook accounts which you had to lie about your age to get. If you haven't changed your date of birth since then, you may be represented on Facebook as over 18, so some of these settings may have automatically changed, so it's worth checking through them. I'm not sure I want to enable this when I turn 18 for Lee, who's 13 at the minute. So I think that his settings have been improved here, and we've got friends that can see his past and future posts and who can look him up. If we click on the next link, timeline and tagging, he's got a sensible setting here. Who can post to his timeline? And already he's got a couple of posts from people who are his friends. One setting I would change for Lee is this setting here, which allows you to be able to review things that appear on your timeline before they do. So I'm going to turn this enabled for Lee. This means that if someone is posting something, tagging me in a picture or posting something to my timeline, I'm going to get the chance to be able to review and OK that before it appears live on my site and my friends can see it. This button here is really useful. This button here allows you to be able to see your profile as other people do. So have a look here. This is what my profile would look like to a public person, and you can see that I've successfully hidden quite a lot of Lee's data. You can view it as a specific person and see what your profile looks like. It's quite a good button to click on to be able to test your privacy settings. Review what other people can see on your timeline. The View As button's really quite useful. See who can see posts you've been tagged in on your timeline. Again, set to friends so that people can not access information that other people might write about me. This is also a setting that concerns what other people might produce that has our name on it. This setting here allows you to be able to review the tags that people might put on pictures before they appear on your own timeline on Facebook. I've enabled this, which should mean that I get the chance to see things before they appear. And you can see there's a setting here that says that when I have reviewed a post and when I've been tagged in a post, my friends can see it too. This setting here is about facial recognition, and this setting isn't available if you're under 18. Facebook have got some nice facial recognition software, and sometimes if people are trying to tag a picture, suggestions will turn up from Facebook based on people that might look like that person. This might mean that you get tagged in pictures even though the person isn't you. The blocking section here is quite useful, and this allows you to be able to add users to a list that wouldn't be able to see any of your private information. Any information you make public is public anyway, and anyone can see that. However, if you've got people on your friends list, or if you've got people who can see certain data that you don't want them to see, you can add them to this list and block their access. However, anything that's public, they will be able to see anyway. You know, you can block invites from people, you can block events, and you can block applications that might be hassling you with data and information. The other two settings we'll have a look at today are apps and ads. Apps are games and applications which you might use. You'd be surprised at how these apps can get hold of your personal data and then use it to try and sell you things. There are two different sections here about apps that I use and apps that other people use. This person, Lee Smith, has played a couple of games or used a couple of apps, and you can see that there's a different setting here for Top 11 to be a football manager and for Yelp. The Yelp setting is saying that friends of friends can see my activity, whereas on Top 11 be a footballer, only friends can see that. I'm going to change this because I'd prefer that only friends will be able to see my activity here or what Yelp might post on my behalf. You'll notice that you can remove the apps from this list. If you've got tons and tons of apps that you don't currently use, remove them from this list, because as soon as you do, they no longer have access to your personal information and they'll stop sending you so many adverts and updates. I'm not going to use that, so I'm going to remove it from Lee's list here. This setting about apps that other people use. Surprisingly, the apps that other people use can have access to our information too. And if you have a look here, I was quite surprised at seeing how much of my personal information was being shared with my friends' applications that they're currently playing. I don't like this information being shared with companies who might then want to sell me things. So I'm going to untick all of these. This doesn't stop the applications that you're using being able to use your personal information and be able to send you adverts and things like that. It just stops the ability of my friends' applications to do that. If any of you are using old mobiles to access Facebook, you might want to check this setting, which really should be set to friends so that people outside of your friends list can't view your personal information. Part of the reason we're showing you these settings on computers today is because on a mobile application you don't have access to this level of detail in terms of what you can stop people looking at. Often the phone applications, if you're accessing Facebook solely on those phone applications, just make everything public. And lastly, ads. You'd be surprised, but Facebook make rather a lot of money out of advertising. Have you ever seen the adverts that appear in your timeline or elsewhere on your site? Facebook are a very successful advertising company. And because there's so much of our personal information on Facebook, companies pay them quite a lot of money to appear on our timeline or in other areas on our Facebook sites, either on our mobile phone or on our computers, when we've expressed an interest in a certain thing. So don't be surprised that when you type something about Man United or Call of Duty or McDonald's that you suddenly see things that are associated with those things that you've typed. Facebook actually snoops on you quite a lot in terms of the things that you are interested in, and then shows you adverts for things that you might be interested in based on your personal interests. It's one of the main reasons why they don't charge us to use the site. These two settings in the ads category are about, first of all, future plans. Facebook have the ability to be able to take our pictures and be able to use them in advertising. If they were to put your picture in an ad, who would you want to see it? I don't think Lee wants to show his picture in anyone's adverts, thank you. And we can click on save that setting. This one is about adverts that might appear like this one, that let our friends know that we're interested in a certain thing. So because friends often do things together, or friends often like similar things, Facebook think it's a reasonable idea to be able to produce an advert on my page that has a like from one of my friends, to be able to say, hey, Lee Smith likes this, you might like it too. This is a powerful way of advertising, but it's up to us whether that's something we want to see on our pages. If we're not happy with that, we click on no one, and that means that people can't use our name in adverts that appear on other people's pages. You might think that that's all to the privacy settings, but it's not. If you look at your own information, you may have set settings when you join Facebook that might be sharing some things that are quite personal to you. First thing to notice is about some of the places we go. There are settings here for our schools and for the places we work and where we live, and often these are set as public by default. You might not want people to realise where you go to school. Be someone who is in control of that, rather than just going along with Facebook's suggestion that we might want to share that information. Equally with where we live, you might not want people to know where you live, in which case you can change these settings here. In terms of contact information, this isn't displaying particularly well. You can see that Lee's got a bit of a problem with some of his settings here. He set his address as being public information, which is available then to everyone. That's quite a big problem. I'm going to keep Lee's address to only him, as opposed to having friends know where I live. If you don't know who's on your friends list, then you really might want to be protective with that kind of information. Friends have his mobile number, and friends are able to get hold of an email address. Just to prove that the information that we put on Facebook is targeted by advertisers, I created this profile for Lee about 4 hours ago, and already the Disney Channel have spammed me thinking that I might be interested in this suggested page. Everything you type into Facebook is viewable by some advertiser or another, and in fact that's the point of having these like lists. As soon as we say we like something, it's then possible for those people to pay Facebook to advertise to us. And this is quite useful for Facebook, and it might be something you're not bothered about. It's not something you can stop Facebook doing, by the way. Things that will appear in your timeline no matter what settings you have. However, just be aware that everything you type into Facebook and sites like this are available to advertisers who are effectively trying to sell you different things. I hope this has been useful, and if you've got any questions about your Facebook privacy settings, you should ask a teacher or ask someone at an eSafety event this week.